What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to q.v.o Games. My name is Juan, and today we're doing the retail game releases of the week. If you haven't, for actually the week of May 8th. If you haven't checked out last week's video for last week's releases, go ahead and check it out if you'd like to. However, of course, the newest ones are out, coming out today, which would be tomorrow for me. Tomorrow for me, but today for you, since that's when you're watching the video. We also do have a weird game release date where it's going to be on Sunday, May 8th, but the video is getting released on Monday, May 9th. Keep that in mind. Full disclaimer before we start the video. These are going to be estimated shipping dates for most, I guess, the most general public. However, I scoured the internet and looked for the exact dates, try to multi-check my sources and make sure that everything is correct and we have exact dates. However, keep in mind, the games coming to your local retailer can be delayed by shipping, maybe they misplaced an order, it can be any other reasons. However, this is the release date for the games that I've looked on the published website or other sources as well. We actually have about 7 games, 7 games actually that are coming out this week that I know of. If there's any more games that we missed or any games that you think they should be added, let me know. We'll add it to the description. Just comment or send me a message and we'll go ahead and add it to the description so everyone's aware of the games coming out. The games that we're talking about are going to be North American release dates. We're doing North America just to get ones I'm more relevant with, the ones I can grab more information for, since I am located in the US, and that's what we're going to be doing. So keep in mind as well, some of the games have already been released in other regions of the world. So you're going to be seeing that and maybe you're going to think this game's already released. However, it might have been already released somewhere else and we're just getting it here in the US. The US release dates is what we're going over. Perfect. So let's get this video kicked off and started. And first game we're going to be doing is Terra Mystica Big Box by Capstone Games. So last week, it looks like the Automata solo expansion was released, which has solo scenarios and solo gameplay. Terra Mystica Big Box is going to be a big box of everything in one box. It's going to be the base game, the Fire and Ice expansion, the Merchant of the Seas expansion, and the same solo mode that was released last week is also included in this big box. You're going to be scrolling down. There's a lot of accolades for the game. I haven't played the game myself, but I'm really looking forward to it and want to play it. I might be getting this box myself, I'm not too sure. Typically when I buy something, I always tend to go with all in or buy like the most expensive item that has everything in it. Just typically the way I go. Let's go through a couple pictures. Yeah, Terra Mystica is really popular, has a really big following, and it is an older game. However, I do think it definitely holds up because it's always been talked about as a great game, always recommended by a lot of people, and definitely going to be something that I want to check out myself. Not too sure if I'm going to purchase it today or tomorrow because I have made a lot of large purchases, and that's kind of just balancing and make sure I don't over purchase things. However, it is going to be released May 8th, which is today. Keep that in mind. Continuing on, we're going to go on to The Thing board game releasing May 11th. If you don't know what The Thing is, it's actually a movie from the 80s, and it's about an alien invading or being part of a group of people. And the game was also released on Kickstarter not so long ago, but ended up and now it's coming to retail. You can buy like the Norwegian Outpost expansion, the miniature expansion. A couple of stretch goals, of course, are just Kickstarter exclusive, so you can't buy those, but you can buy the retail game, and that's going to be out on May 11th. The Thing is basically almost like a social deduction game where you can play up to 8 players, and someone in the group is an alien, or you're trying to figure out who it is exactly. Let's read a little bit more about the game. That's actually some really nice product shot there. Actually shows a little bit about it. It looks very similar, if not almost like a reskin of Unfathomable by Fantasy Flight Games. You're going to go through trying to escape along with. Looks like it takes place on Outpost 31, choosing the best way to escape between the helicopter, snowcat, or the rescue team, but more important to test the team members to reveal the alien. The road to victory is truly hard, but not impossible. Be careful though, the paranoia of not knowing who you really have on your side may cloud your decisions. Honestly, I really enjoyed Unfathomable. I haven't played, that's the most similar experience I can relate to this game, so I'm really curious to see how this one plays, and I wouldn't mind actually giving it a shot. There's a lot of great, a little bit of explanation. There's a gameplay trailer. Looks like there is some coverage from Dice Tower as well. If you want to check that out, Learn to Play covered it 1 to 3 player mode by All Aboard. So they did have a little bit of coverage from different media outlets, and this is by Pendragon Game Studios, releasing on May 11th. The Thing, the board game, along with the expansions and the miniature sets. Next game we're going to cover is going to be Squid Inc. by WizKid Games. Excuse me there. Well, it's releasing on May 11th. It's a 2 to 4 player game as well. It looks like it's like a card drafting tableau builder kind of game. Take that tile placement, not a tableau. Take that tile placement. Area majority influence King of the Hill. I'm showing you the BGG website. I feel like there's more accurate information here and more things to talk about with the website itself, with BGG itself, than compared to like the details on like the main web page for WizKids. That's why we're showing it here. A couple pictures of the game. Looks like on BGG, Squid Inc. This is probably going to be one of their advertisings. That's going to be the card. Looks pretty good. Some of the artwork looks really nice. Promote any other employee from this tier. Promote any other player from this tier. Adjacent in the workplace. Interesting. The mailroom. Yeah, okay. Let's read a little bit about the game. So it looks like Squid Inc. player competes for influence in the high-stakes underwater business world where power shifts with the tides. Recruit underwater creatures to your side and lead them up to the food chain, earning more influence higher they go. You'll recruit distinguished creatures from the anglerfish to hammerhead strikes with each different influence values and a unique ability. Then you can place them at the bottom of the corporate ladder, trying to outmaneuver your opponent's creatures and earn them promotions. If there's no room at the next level, you have to knock somebody back down to come out on top. Well, a lot of take that, it looks like. A lot of take that. King of the Hill, I can see that as well. Yeah, it's going to be a 2 to 4 player game, ages 14 and up, by WizKids. That's Squid Inc. Released on May 11th. Yes, May 11th. Next game. Reload. So if you don't know what Reload is, Reload actually was a Kickstarter game as well, and it had this battle royale element to it, where you kind of land into the game, collect your loot, of course, and then go into battle and try to take out your enemies. Really interesting way to push that onto a board game. Looks like a 7.9 on BGG, so it must have done pretty well. I have never played a battle royale game like this on tabletop. I've played many video games that are battle royales, however, never really played them in this format or in a board game style. It looks like it's a mega corporation of the military-industrial complex that invested trillions developing cybernetically enhanced clone soldiers for off-world exploration, seeking to build robust teams for future missions and, more importantly, to land lucrative government contracts. Looks like you're put here at Remote Planet as like a deadly simulation game. Corporates have put you here, I'm assuming. Set in base, die, modular board. Let's look at a couple pictures. Looks like some BGG users, Colossal Games actually did publishers. Forgot to mention that. Playing Karat that has nice employment. Looks like maybe a little bit of asymmetry between characters. That's what I'm assuming. And first on the map, you have to take into account where to land. 2 white dice determine where you land according to the direction of the wind. Interesting. So you don't really get to choose where you land. The white dice determines where you land. I think I like that. That's really interesting. Blitz, yeah, different characters, of course. You'll probably be missing a couple of extra exclusive, I'm assuming. Not too sure. And you'll be getting the base game, but this is coming out to retail on May 13th. I'm not too sure about the game myself. However, 2 to 4 players. It's a really strange. I don't know why that confused me a little bit there, but 2 to 4 players as a battle royale game. Really interesting. It looks like a smaller map. Plays in 60 minutes. So that's going to be Reload. Next game we're going to be talking about is Platypus. Platypus is by Arrakis Games, and it's more of a party game from my understanding. It's a deduction party game, and you basically, there's going to be certain words you want to try to figure out, eliminate, and you identify the platypus through your adjective card. So you're trying to basically identify who the platypus is. A deduction game. Almost sounds like social deduction. Not too sure. Probably maybe just a deduction game. Place one of the guys on the card that explorers must guess and help the explorers to give clues and forms of added to cards that best define the platypus for them. This kind of reminds me of the system that comes from Cryptid. I think it's called Cryptid, and it definitely would be a deduction game at that point. However, there's some socializing involved, I believe. Actually, not too sure, because Cryptid actually plays that way, where you're more just giving each other clues to find out who it is. I actually would be curious to try this game. Party games typically resonate more with the group of players. I'm more of a medium to heavy board gamer in complexity. I like more thinky games. However, this looks kind of interesting. And it is a party game. Keep that in mind. Usually party games can be good or can be bad. I think there could be an in-between, but it definitely depends on the player, because when you have so many party games, I mean, how many can you really pull out with 8+ players? Or, yeah, usually 8+ players, which you can see there, 2 to 8. This game is going to be by Arrakis, and it's being released on May 13th, so that's going to be on Friday. Next game is going to be Save Patient Zero. So, Lab versus Lab. Save Patient Zero is a 1v1 style game where you're playing as 2 different laboratories trying to figure out a cure for Patient Zero. So Patient Zero, and the way you're going to do that essentially, Patient Zero has like a rare disease, and they're trying to race to see who can figure it out. You do have an app that you use as well with the game, and your goal, of course, is to identify the antidote made of 30 of 25 molecules, and you, looks like, Love computer app, great team dynamics, a topical issue and game that ends well, rich and ergonomic material, very addictive, we'd hardly be able to put it down. A lot of great talks about the game. Looks like there's been a couple of reviews from different content creators as well. The components look really nice. Looks like there's a pencil, you write things down. Yeah, I'm not really too sure how the game plays. They do have a video here to watch as well if you'd like to. And yeah, that's going to be Patient Zero. It actually does look really interesting, and it looks like I do want to get into these games more often, similar games to this more often, and the reason why is because I don't really have many one-to-one games, and I feel like they're really easy to bring out to the table because, I mean, it takes 2 players to play. You can find someone else to play easier than finding 4 or 5 people, because there's some games that have a suggested player count 2 to 5, but maybe it doesn't play good at 5, or maybe it doesn't play at 2 either, so maybe it plays good at 3 or 4. When we have the exact player count, it can be tough to find somebody. But if a game plays 1 and 1, and that's the only way it plays, that's the only way you can really play the game. So that's what I kind of like about these type of games. Also, Rad Lads is a game that I really enjoyed, and it was a 1v1 game, or a 2-player game basically. That's going to be Save Patient Zero, and it's going to be released on May 13th. Going on to the next game is going to be Hibachi by Grail Games. So Hibachi was also a game that's on Kickstarter, and it was released, now it's being released to retail on May 13th. Hibachi has a little bit of dexterity game where you're trying to basically be a chef that brings out 3 different meals to your guests before everyone else does. And they're all like little cat chefs, of course, so it's very animal themed. So let's go back through. Let's look at some pictures. So it looks, looks like there's a money token, some mushrooms ingredients, some more ingredients. It'll actually look really nice. There's a lot of coverage of this all over social media if you weren't looking at those, but they're actually really, really cool. The game looked really awesome, and I didn't really get to back it, of course. Typically games like this I'm really selective about. The whole animal cutesy thing and the artwork can be a little crazy for me. It is like, so going over the game a little more, it's going to be an action dexterity, animal economic, auction, sealed bid set collection kind of game. Makes sense that you're trying to collect them to make your dishes and bring out 2 different to your customers, I guess, to win the game itself. I guess you probably miss out on a couple of expansions, of course, but and a couple of Kickstarter exclusives, not expansions, with the game getting it retail. But getting the game in retail, of course, saves you the whole hassle of paying shipping, or not paying shipping, but maybe the shipping costs, or waiting so long for the game, or paying for extras that you may not even need or want for the game, or you may not even touch ever again. So you just get the base game here with Hibachi, and this releases on May 13th. That's really it for this week. It's when you do the weekly retail release, there definitely could be and probably is more games releasing this week. However, I only feature games where I have exact dates for. So if you're a publisher and watching this, you want you want your game to be featured in the video, definitely reach out to me and let me know what game it is, the date it comes out, some details around the game. It's a 2 to 4 player game, or what, all the details about the game, so I can feature it, maybe even a web page or a BGG page link. That way I can definitely talk about the game and show everybody, and we can promote it, just so we can make sure everyone knows about the games coming out. And if you are a viewer or just a watcher, definitely let me know if you think a game that should be mentioned on this list. Do we just need exact release dates, not estimated? So if you can give me a link page where you know that the game is being released, that way we can put it and feature it in the video, or even put it in the description, that'll be excellent. So yeah, let me know what you thought about the video. This is Juan from q.v.o Games, and I'll catch you later. Bye.